This is a 5-volt smart traffic light educational toy signal DIY practice soldering kit. I recently purchased this from AliExpress, and including all discounts, taxes and shipping, it cost me just £4.35. This kit looked like a really fun and educational little DIY soldering practice kit. So let's take a look inside and see what you get. Okay, so this looks like a fun little kit. It's got this rather nice PCB here, and this is going to be the main PCB. As you can see, it has a road-style layout here for all of the different car directions. This would look pretty cool with some tiny little cars on, and so maybe that's something to think about in the future. But in addition to the main PCB, there are also 4 of these little tiny PCBs as well, and these represent the individual traffic signals and including a countdown timer using some 7-segment displays. Of course, we need 4 7-segment displays to go with that. And we also need red, yellow and green LEDs just here to put on the signals just here. There are some transistors and these will drive the different signals. And everything is controlled by this little microcontroller just here. So there is a surface mount microcontroller that we are going to need to install. And if you saw it on the back of the PCB, that's going to go here. We also have a couple of capacitors. We have one electrolytic just here and a ceramic here. We have a power switch, a few resistors for managing all the power in the circuit, and this nice little USB connection just here, and that matches with a USB cable that we've been provided as well. So I think it's time to get started. Let's turn on the soldering iron and go ahead and install that IC just here. And I'm going to put that on the underside of the board here, obviously, and we need to make sure it goes around the right way. And if we look on the IC, if we look at the direction of the text, there is actually a little tiny notch out or a little divot in the IC just here, and that lines up with the little icon just here on the PCB. So this will be a pre-programmed microcontroller, and that means that if we don't get this working correctly, then this whole kit is not going to light up as expected. The software that's on that chip is going to be very important for running all of the traffic signals and putting the correct values on the display. So let's move all these components out of the way, and I'll get to installing that IC. Okay, to install the IC, I'm going to go ahead and tin one of these pads, or add some additional solder to it. These are actually pre-tinned, but add a little bit more solder to one of these pads, and we'll just slide the IC in and make sure it's all well aligned before we go ahead and solder the rest of the pins. And to make it easier to reflow that, I'm going to add a little bit of flux from this liquid flux pen. Okay, so as that's a fairly large IC, I didn't need any tweezers there, I just did that by hand, and I think that's reasonably well aligned. I'm going to just tack the other pin on the other side, make sure I'm still happy, and then go ahead and fill in the rest by just soldering the individual pins. And I'm pretty happy with that. That looks like that's all well aligned, so I can go ahead and solder all of the legs. So I've bridged a couple of pins here, and the easiest way to clear them tends to be with a little bit of extra flux. So again, flux pen to the rescue. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. It looks like all of the pins are connected. Now, there's another component we need to install on this board, and that's the power connector. So this is actually the power switch, sorry. This is where the power connector goes. The power connector also goes on the underside of the board. Okay, returning to this section here, that's where the power switch goes, and we have the power switch just here, so we can install that like so. And then it looks like we need to install some capacitors. Now we have 2 capacitors in this kit. We have this 10 microfarad 16 volt capacitor, and we can see the shorter leg here is marked with the negative symbol on the can. And this goes in this location here on the board, and the positive leg is the longer leg and the negative leg is the shorter leg. And the shaded area on the board typically is the negative side. So we need to make sure we put this in round this way. And we also want to install our ceramic capacitor, which is C2. And this one can go around either way. It's going to pop it in like so. Now we've dealt with this board, we actually need to assemble all of these little boards here as well. So for each of these, we're going to need some resistors, a transistor, a red, yellow and green LED, and a 7-segment LED display as well. Now, as you just saw, I actually have sorted these into two different piles of resistors, and that's because there are two different sets of resistors here. In the listing of the item I purchased, it actually suggested that there would be two sets of 4 200 ohm resistors, so all of the resistors would be the same. But as we can see, I've managed to sort them by colours, and that's because there's two different values. And I've picked one of each for each board. Now the two values I have here appear to be 200 ohms and a 10k resistor. And we can tell those values by looking at the colour bands. So here is our 10k resistor. So that's 1, 0 and 3 additional zeros for 10k. Our second resistor here is red, black and brown. And so that's 2, 0 and 1 additional 0 for 200 ohms. We can also check the values with a multimeter. And what I'm going to do here is set this to the 20k range. And we'll start off with the 10k resistor. And if I put this across the probes here, you can see 968. That's good enough for me. And then for the 200 ohm resistor, you can see we're getting 0.19, so 0.19 kilo ohms or 200 ohms. And I can put this down to the 2000 maximum range, put this across as well, and you can see we're getting 194 or so, and that is nearly 200 ohms, so that looks good to me as well. So the final remaining question is which resistor goes in which location, and if we look carefully at the images provided in the listing, the 10k resistor is always on the right-hand side here in the R2 position, so that's what I'm going to do in this build, and hopefully this will work correctly. So now we've figured out the resistors, I think those should go in first. So let's put in our 200 ohm and our 10k resistor. Now resistors can go in either way around, but in this case I've made it so that if I'm reading the color codes from left to right, it's in the same direction as the text. It's just a personal preference. You can put these around either way, no problem. Okay, so next up I'm going to do the transistor, and the transistor should be installed so the profile matches the silkscreen outline. So you can see here the half moon shape is at the bottom with the flat side at the top, and so that's how I'm going to put in each of these transistors. We just wheel these down until they're comfortable. We don't want to push them too far, and they'll be just fine. Next up I'm going to put in the 7-segment display here, just here. And if we look carefully at the display, we can see there is a decimal place in the lower right, and that matches with the illustration just here. So that's the way around we need to install this. And in this case, some of the legs have been bent, so I just need to quickly bend these up and make sure they're all perfectly straight so they can go through the holes. So do double check that before you go ahead and try and install yours. And finally, we need to install our indicator LEDs. And if you look carefully here, hopefully you can make out that it says R, Y, and G. And those are our 3 color LEDs. So red at the top, yellow in the middle, and green at the bottom. Now, LEDs do have a direction. And to tell which direction they go, I always use a CR2032 coin cell battery, because if you look on the battery, you can see there's a plus sign on one side and there's no symbol on the other. And that means that's the positive side. And if I insert this between the LED like so, you can see this illuminates the LED. And that indicates that the longer leg here at the top is positive. And if we turn the coin cell around, it doesn't illuminate, but if we turn it back, it will. So LEDs, long leg positive, just like our capacitors. How do we need to install them on the board? Well, here we need to make sure our LED is going long leg in the square pad with the flat side just there. Now, you might be able to make it out on the LED. It is slightly flattened on the same side with the shorter leg, but actually I always find that very hard to see and sometimes even to feel. So it's always worth double checking. But the flat side is the negative side. So we can just put these in like so, making sure we put the colours in the right place, so green at the bottom here. We want to put our yellow in the middle, again making sure we're the right way round, and red on what would be the top, again making sure we're the same way round. And I'm just going to use some blue tack to gently hold them in place. And now I'm going to go ahead and solder just one leg on each LED. So now what I can do is make sure these LEDs are nice and flat and straight on the board by applying some very gentle pressure with my finger while I reheat that joint. I need to hold until it has set. And the next one. And the final one. And now I can go ahead and solder the other leg on each LED. Okay, so that's one complete traffic signal. I'm going to go ahead and assemble the other three, and I will whiz through that part of the video for you. Okay, so I've completed my 4 traffic lights, and what I need to do now is install them onto the baseboard here. And they're going to install by slotting them through the PCB. And you can see, if you look carefully, that there are some solder pads here which line up with the solder pads on the side of the PCB here. And what we're going to need to do is connect those with some solder bridges. And likewise, there are connections on the bottom as well that we need to make sure we connect. So I'm going to use plenty of blue tack here to hold this in place, and then I'm going to solder just 1 or 2 of these and make sure the alignment looks good, because once they are soldered in, they will be a pain to move around. So it may be unwise that I'm starting off with the most tricky one here, right down by the capacitors. So I flooded plenty of solder into there to make a nice little bridge. Hopefully you can see that. And I want to make sure that's nice and straight for now. And I'm going to solder the other one as well. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with that. Going to solder the middle 2 as well. So I have plenty of solder. Okay, and now I'm going to do this other side. So hopefully that's reasonably clear. It's pretty sturdy. And then I'm going to solder the tabs on the underside as well. Okay. So I just need to do that 3 more times. Okay, so this looks pretty good. It seems like it's fully assembled. All I need to do now is to test it using some power. And as we saw, this is powered by USB, and there's an included USB cable. So let's try that out. Let's plug this into a power bank. And nothing yet, but maybe we have the power switch off, so let's hope that's the case. And let's slide this across. And there we go. We have lots of LEDs on. They all seem to be counting down and doing different patterns. So we seem to be stopping these directions and allowing these directions. So that looks promising. And now we're allowing these directions and stopping these directions. And we also have the countdown clock on all of the displays. All right, so this looks like a fun little kit. Lots of little experiments we could do here with traffic management. Maybe with some little tiny cars. Now, I mentioned in the unwrapping or unbagging video for this that I think this would work really well with little tiny micro machines, which are little tiny toy cars. I think that'd be a fun little thing to play with. I think for around £5, this is a really good value kit. I think the fact that it's not particularly interactive might make it a little dull after a while if you don't have some toy cars to play with, but now at least I have an excuse to get some of my own. Nonetheless, I think this was fun to assemble, and I think this was a neat little project. So I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope to speak to you again soon in the next one.